There is a tomb in Korvan Sands. It's called the Eldritch Sun. And we bring the standard banner of our gods. There's 3 of them, not 1. Okay, hello to everybody. Max Nevermore is here, and today we're going to complete the Forgotten Gods DLC in Grim Dawn as our 1 million stat man. Yes, we're going to do this today, but first of all, let me just a little bit sit down with you, because I'm eating not just something, but the legendary Russian snack called sыр колбас. In literal translation, it means cheese sausage. So I'm literally just sitting like right back from this legendary gif when he eats chips, and I eat sыр колбас with the sauce. Give me 2 seconds. I'll bring a beverage. Okay, I'm back. So in the last stream we killed the Morganeth, the Grand Magi, in his folly. And look who is here.
Hello again, my friend.
I have to say, I was not expecting to find you here so far from Erlan. My hunt led me to the Korvan Basin. Dravis is close, I can feel it. He will not evade me this time. How did you track Dravis here? Do you remember the flower he left me? It is native to this region. A very rare bloom indeed. Travis wanted me to come here, but why? He isn't far though, so I'll be asking him that myself soon enough, at the tip of a blade. What's your plan? The Korvan Basin is a vast region, but Travis is driven by 2 things, power and our father's head. I strongly suspect he's headed towards what remains of Korvan City. If you find yourself headed there, be careful. Travis should not be underestimated. I'll keep an eye out. But before we will reach Travis, we need to clean all of this stuff, right? Writing of the Ryan the Scholar, second entry. I arrived today at the heart of Korvan City after a grueling 3 days of travel, a journey which began on the high note as we traversed the lush oasis just beyond the walls of the Chiron docks. I cannot stop to eat my circle bus, sorry. The Korvan capital is something else entirely. Large stands of palms graze the shores of flowing streams fed by subterranean springs, which bubble up from the depths with an irrepressible ferocity. Sorry, misread it. In the midst of a stark desert, it is truly a sight to behold. I've been told that this one source provides the cleanest of waters to the region. Apparently an entire class of water merchants exists, with the sole duty of collecting the life-giving nectar from there and distributing it throughout the land. Another one piece of circle bus, sorry. I'm just playing as chill as maximum. This is also where I had my first exposure to the curious and deep-rooted faith of the region. My traveling companions, the daily caravan from Chiron docks to Korvan City, insisted that we stop at a temple known as the Sanctuary of Horan, positioned in the heart of the oasis. It was apparently crucial that they stop while the burning sun was at its highest point, the prescribed hour to observe a daily ritual in which they give thanks to their god for his mercy and pittance. I can understand why a culture surrounded by such harsh and unforgiving lands would be grateful for whatever it is that graced them to create such a stunning civilization. However, I quickly learned to be wary of these rituals, as the prescribed hour for worship is not one but several a day. I know now why the journey to Korvan City takes 3 days. On the second day of our journey, we passed through a smaller city on the outskirts of Korvan. This was truly an unusual locale. It appeared to be more temple than practical residence. I surmise it is a center for religion practice, perhaps where the local faith most devout followers can go about their various rituals, unhindered by the bustle of Korvan proper. Just beyond the temple city lies a vast network of tombs. I was told by one of the caravan's driver that precious Korvan leaders and powerful devotees of the Korvan faith are buried there alone, with countless precious relics. Apparently the valley was chosen as a burial site because the rolling hot blood of their god flows close to the surface there. I suspect there is an ancient magma flow passing beneath the valley, perhaps the remnants of a long dormant volcano. These revelations are quite curious and worthy of further investigation. I shall hope to learn a great deal more about this faith, its practices and practitioners during my time in Korvan City. These Korvan champions remind me about Chaos Ogres from the Warhammer. Wait, there is a fight over there. Bro, you stole my experience. Two heroes at once. Bloodmender. I wouldn't do such thing if I were you, dude. Day 33. Now we are free from all hindrance. Free of the pretense of money making and investors who were so concerned with their returns that they shackled us with a league of babysitters to watch over us. This morning, as our cohorts made their way back into the bathhouse for yet another day of sorting and cataloging the belongings of dead people, Roderick and I barred the doors shut from the outside. I'm brimming with glee to think of the looks on their faces as they return from a long day of grave robbing, only to discover that their treasure trove shall also be their tomb. It is connected with the with which wait, Jaren's travel log? Maybe? Wow. We are of course alone now and without protection. However, traveling with will be easier with just the two of us. And I have prepared a number of words that should keep us well hidden and protected from the ravenous wildlife. Onward to the temple and the burning heart of Korvan City. Day 35. I'm awe-stricken, of course. I stand here after so desperate a journey at the foot of a grand temple devoted to Korvac. The city of his name stretched out in all directions. Its buildings in ruins collapsed as if kneeling to pay tribute to the Eldritch god. The scars of his wrath run deep through the very foundations of the infrastructure, evidence of the cataclysm which claims these people centuries ago. There are ancient rivers of stone now cooled and crystallized into black glass, great upheavals of jagged rock, which pierce buildings and form monuments to his anger. All lie in ruins, but for the temple. There, at its heart, we shall find what we have come for, a power immutable, a wealth greater than all of the riches of mankind. This we shall claim for ourselves. You greedy bastards, as it came out, taking There's an NPC. And look who we have here. But first of all, let's kill these guys. There's 2 of you here. Master Harkin of the Death Vigil. Good to see you still in the fight, brother. It seems our efforts in the Blood Groove weren't enough to stop Father Kaiman and his band of zealots. So we find ourselves chasing him through this forsaken wasteland on his mad quest to resurrect the forgotten god. Dude! Dude, excuse me? We spoke about this. No, but we hail from the same... Yeah, I spoke with you already. What? Yeah, I know this. Yeah. We spoke with him already. And there was 3 of them nearby the conclave of the 3. Strange. It should be another one dialogue. Like, good to see you even again, my friend, something like this. It was very strange. Why did it repeat it though? Why did they forgo? Why did you forgo, dude? Origins of the Rand the Scholar, 3rd entry. Today was my first full day in Korvan City, and I must say I am as awestruck by its majesty as I was when I first landed at the Chiron docks. The focal point of the city is a grand temple dedicated to the Eldritch Sun, Korvan, a deity I am unfamiliar with, but one that dominates local theology. The temple's majesty is undescribable. It seems to dwarf everything in sight, even nearby mountains, and it radiates with such an energy that its heat can be felt even in the midday sun. Even I, a skeptic, find myself in sheer admiration. I've been told that the heat of the temple has dwindled for some years, but has recently rekindled, a cause for celebration and ritual. I suspect it is built on a geological feature, perhaps a volcano or hot spring of some sort. I should very much wish to gain access to the inside, though, as I discovered by visiting several smaller temples around the city, this is unlikely to happen. The main temple holds particular importance, and entry is strictly prohibited to outsiders. Though it appears to... oh, wait. Though it appears to be the focal point of the local faith, Korvan is by no means the only entity worshipped by the Korvan people. There also appear to be lesser gods, whom the people call ascendants. What that means exactly I am not clear on, and nobody had a straight answer for me either. The stories regarding these individuals vary, and not all of them seem to be holy men or even devout practitioners. By my observation, they may well be wealthy individuals that have bought their way to deification, sorry, and the social reverence that comes with. Nonetheless, minor temples were constructed in their honor, and they are all worshipped in their own right and for various means, sometimes even before death. I should very much like to know what qualifies a person for a place of such honor, and so tomorrow I will be visiting several temples positioned around the main temple of the Eldritch Sun. If birthright will not grant me access, then perhaps the grease for a few coins will. The increase of your coins. Good old. Good old key to the everything. Missing shipments. Wait. I don't know what the temple stewards are thinking. Do they believe no one will notice, or do they simply not care? But I see right through their little game. Taxes are rising to fund temple always, they say, all while they spend our hard-earned gold on exotic goods and drink. When I missed a shipment of foreign wine last week, the second month in a row, I personally made the trip to Chiron to inquire with my importer. After a fair bit of coercion and no small amount of coin, he told me that a temple attendant signed the cargo manifest and then made off with my wine. Then I spoke with a number of local sellers, and it seems they too have been missing product they've been expecting through the Chiron caravan. I do not mean to imply that they are appropriating the goods. Certainly not. They are in fact not only paying for our wares, but also bribing importers to keep quiet about their little dealings. A fine waste of our tax money, no doubt. I mean to take this up with the Merchant Guild as soon as possible, and I implore you to do the same. It is about time a voice of power in this region ruffled with feathers of a few ordained officials. This must be one of the guardian statue Raken spoke of. Inspect the statue. A voice fills your head. A lover's touch, a web of lies. Who will whisper of your demise, Bismail? Oh, this is the third word of Ran. Okay, we've got the third one. A piece broken from the tablet of Ran. It appears as though someone may have shattered the tablet intentionally. Blaze Guard Arbiter. Wow. Must look sick. This is the first time when I see this shield, though. Level 75. Wish count leather boots. Good for nothing beasts, but they make great boots. Whoa, there. Sure think they are better. I'll go with them. Yeah. A good old stat boost will not hurt at all. So let's, yeah, descend into the Pit of Atonement to kill Akaloth. Oh, not Akaloth, Okaloth, the messenger. Yep. Ooh, Messenger's Repeater, the level 84. Each bolt a herald of Korvak's destructive vengeance. Okay, we have the level 84 weapon for us. Whoa! Excuse me, I was standing in the magma and it hurt me. Yeah, that was very dumb of me. I almost died by my own stupidity. Okay, let's reach this place and after that let's use the... Ow, that hurts. Let's use the rift to the vanguard of the three. Who is fighting? Ah, you're fighting. A lover's current, an endless rage, a burning eye to mark the pain. Okay, it was Olzun. Sorry, but the burning eye, Olzun. How could I? Yeah. How did I even insulted them? Bruh.
Welcome back.
It is done. Ah, is it done? Have you slain the messenger? He is dead. You banished the messenger? Then why do I still sense its presence? Why does its fury still cloud my visions? Perhaps it cannot truly be killed, at least not by any means known to us. I believe you, but there are maybe something we don't know about this being. I'm concerned that this is not the end to its malice. I'm pretty sure it's dead. I trust you seem certain that you killed it. But death may not be the end of this whole creation of Korvac. Perhaps it is its connection to the forgotten god that allows it to endure, or perhaps it is rage manifest, such purity of raw emotion that is will itself to endure beyond mortal wounds. I must discuss this with the Elder Seers. Thank you again for assisting in this matter. For now, at least we can consider it settled. What can you tell me about the messenger? Folk tales would describe a fiery visage common to people in their dreams or in times of desperation, offering them salvation and solace from their life's woes. Its presence is said to precede great disaster, but perhaps that is the excuse given by those committed to horrible deeds in the name of Korvac. It is through this messenger that Korvac spread its vile lies and ensnared the souls of Father Kaiman and his desperate followers. But the beast is banished now, for what it's worth, thanks to you. Before you said something about it possibly returning. Indeed, death may not have been in the end of this foul spawn. Perhaps it is its connection to the god. Yeah, maybe so. Okay, shall we continue? Oh, treasure trove. Nice. Writings of the Rand the Scholar, the 6th entry. I have made a startling discovery while on my latest foray into the Korvan texts. While exploring the vast collection of the Korvan City Library, I briefly escaped the attention of its stewards and found my way to a closed-off archive. Among ancient birth records of some of the most prestigious Korvan families, several ascendants included, I unearthed a collection of texts that appear to shatter some of the core tenets of the very faith that is central to these people's lives. A large number of the pages were badly damaged, as if whatever word cast upon them had violently dissipated. Strangely, the parchment itself appeared newer than some of the records I've seen. Perhaps someone had restored a damaged record at a later date. The bits that I could make out, however, painted a very different account to the early years of the Korvan's faith. Korvac himself was shown as an usurper, a conqueror of a realm he had no part in making. It is not entirely clear if the Korvac that is spoken of today is even the same one described in those texts, or whether that is the name given to the master of the Eldritch Throne. Another curiosity was the description of the upheaval involved in such a transition of power, a whirlwind of creation and destruction within which were caught the unfortunate believers. Sadly, before I could complete my analysis of the text, one of the stewards discovered my presence in the closed-off archive and promptly chased me out of the building. What the little I've managed to read offers some troubling conclusions. Is Korvac's rule destined to falter as it had before? If so, what is Will this same destruction consume these people when it does? It is truly a shame that I could not spend more time with those texts, as they represented a fantastic culmination of my research into the origins of the Korvan faith. Alas, I must prepare to leave this land, and though I have learned a great deal, I'm certain there is more than a lifetime of knowledge hidden away here. The devotion and machinations of the Korvan people have proven to be one of my most fascinating studies. Okay, uh, Writings of the Ryan the Scholar, 5th entry. I can no longer count the days since I first arrived in Korvan City. I have been so enveloped by my work that I've lost track of the rising and the setting of the sun. Ran would be so disappointed in me. I find it difficult to pull my attention away. I've hired a young man to bring me meals 3 times a day, and I must admit they are filling up outside the door to my chambers. My time is spent poring over mountains of texts and tomes, rites, and ceremonies in an attempt to better understand the origins of this Korvan. Well, the 4th entry. I find it difficult. Wait. What I have learned thus far is truly fascinating. As far back as I can go, there seems to be no inconsistency to his presence or domain, no evolution of his worship. It is as if the core of the Korvan religion had somehow remained pure since its inception. Quite unusual. It is that, or its founders had put a great deal of effort into obscuring its true origins. The texts I've perused make it seem as though their rites and rituals are performed today as they were when first prescribed centuries ago. According to these texts, Korva reigns over the Eldritch realm, a plane of existence in parallel to our own of his very making. They say that no mortal may bear witness upon its splendors and live. Some fools have tried and paid the ultimate price for it. The texts warn of a many-eyed guardian that stands as a warning to all that would dare trespass upon the god's domain. Korvac himself is said to be primordial, ancient, and eternal, a progenitor of all that mankind cherishes. From his eldritch throne, the Korvan god ascended numerous champions to enforce his rule. He had even been known to elevate those that dare challenge his worship as a means to appease them, turning former foes into steadfast allies. The now familiar names of Ran and Athep came up several times in the various tales spun around Korvac's divine actions. The history of the Korvan's faith is indeed generations in the making. The Eldritch Sun is depicted both as the blessed flame and the dreadful terror of destruction. It seems he is both adored and feared by those that show him reverence. And with good reason. Though Korvac is generally depicted as benevolent to his followers, there are numerous records of disasters or outright cleansings that were attributed to the god's retribution for mortals displeasing him. Some of these events seem eerily familiar, though I cannot recall why. I suspect there are similar myths which I have been exposed to in nearby regions. There are also a number of rituals which bear a remarkable similarity to primitive practices I have researched in the past. This leads me to wonder if there are other tribes and civilizations that have been worshipping Korvac since antiquity, but perhaps by a different name. This is a matter which will necessitate further investigation. Flat as an autumn leaf, round as a wedding ring, has two eyes yet cannot see a thing. Yep, a button. Okay, before we will visit Raiken, shall we go this way, I guess? You think? Wait. Let's visit the map room of Ran. And where is this celestial sarcophagus? Oh, there's three of them. The tomb is at peace. Run secrets. Huh. Yeah, I somehow skipped this quest. Not the quest, but the area. Let's return the fragments to Raiken. Also, the first thing on this map has been shown incorrectly. York's letter to Bahan. Let's trade it. Business is good, better than it has ever been. The new location has certainly paid off as the heart of the marketplace near the spice merchants. Wait, spices merchants. Damn. During the week of ceremonies leading up to the ascension, no less. Business is good indeed. The streets are and alleyways surrounding the shop are overflowing as thousands of people come and go procuring provisions, buying linens? Okay. Food and drink in preparation for the week's festivities. There are new customers too, and sellers of foreign goods. Many more than I remember from years past. I think word has gotten out that the temple has once again felt by the warmth of the Eldritch Sun, and so many have come from far and wide in hopes of laying eyes upon its splendor, or to make a tidy profit from the celebrations that follow. Tomorrow I shall prepare a small caravan and display my wares at the foot of the temple. But just like we used to do, the entire city will be gathered there to witness the chosen be selected from the temple's devotees. Everyone will gather there again, 3 days hence, when the procession enters the temple and the chosen will give themselves to the Eldritch Sun. Your great-grandfather used to tell me stories of these ceremonies in his days. He said that Korvan himself presided over them. Deep inside the temple, convening, convening with the chosen and leading them down into the temple's burning heart. The divine would sometimes bless his worshippers with a brief appearance outside the temple. His mere presence was allegedly enough to cure the ill and strike blind the wicked. Such a sight certainly has not happened in my lifetime. I'm not sure anyone living apart from the most devout priests has ever laid eyes on the Eldritch Sun. Perhaps we are no longer worthy of such things. Perhaps he has looked into our hearts and seen that all too many have come only to enjoy the festivities, with no intention of truly paying homage or offering prayer. It is a different time, no doubt. Perhaps a good time. The city is as beautiful and radiant as it has ever been, and its people happy and successful. I only wish you could be here to see it. I will send this by caravan to Chiron, where hopefully it will reach you when you return to port. Please, my son, consider coming to visit me. I would so love to hear of your adventures, of in the far-off places you've seen, of the exotic cities you've visited. I know the life of a shipmate is a busy one, but do remember your old father. It would be it won't be long before they take me to the sands and leave me for the good of the night creatures. They don't build temples for crusty old merchants after all. With all my heart, your father, Yorvak. Let's visit Raiken.
Come see what's left of my wares. Iron well spent.
And good day to you, Grisha. Спасибо, что зашел. Сейчас я тут просто сыр колбас хаваю с соусом. И я сейчас себе еще соуса давану в соусницу. И вернусь. Пару секунд буквально. Колбас офигенная штука, вообще, я тебе так скажу. Are these the tablets? Okay, thank you. Emblem of Ran's might, a formidable symbol of power found across the far-reach Cairn. Oh, this is the wire's might! Yes? Let's craft it, and let's apply it to our medal. I don't even care.
Come see what's left of my wares.
What brings you to my forge? If you find any blueprints, bring them back here.
Yes, this is it. 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 Oh, even with the rifle, we can move like this. А у меня так бывает постоянно. Я теперь буду передвигаться быстрее, потому что у меня есть эмблема рана. Я просто могу бортовать по жести. Okay. Security concerns. As this is now my fourth request for an increased guard reaching you for our caravans, consider this a formal complaint, and if my concerns are not addressed in a forthright manner, you can be certain that my voice will be heard in the Merchant Guild. I've been told my previous correspondence had been ignored due to a lack of evidence of increased criminal activity on the Caravan Docks to Korvan City route. But I assure you, criminals are the least of our concerns. I imagine the thugs were normally content with our facing the same constant onslaught we are. There has been a staggering increase in the wildlife activities across the entirety of Korvan Basin. The natural predators are emboldened, attacking single travelers and sometimes the caravans themselves in broad daylight. In all my time managing the caravan, I have seen nothing like it. They appear crazed, as if driven mad by something. In addition, there have been numerous sightings of previously unknown and peculiar beasts seen traveling in packs, stalking caravans through the deepest desert. One of my trusted drivers even reported a griffon matriarch down on the valley's floor. What could possibly drive those behemoths down from their lofty perches? Whatever it is, we need to secure the caravans or risk shipments stopping altogether. I've lost such large quantities of product and men over the last month that trade ships have begun to complain about their deliveries not reaching merchants in the city. It's becoming more and more difficult to hire new hands because of rumors flying around of what happened to the previous crews. We must have more guards to secure the caravans. Surely you magistrate types can imagine your life without fine wine and graceful silks. Let us not forget that it is the caravans and their courageous drivers that bring such luxuries, and it is the wealth of these very caravans that fund your comfy seats. Respectfully, Raulan, Caravan Master. Get smart, Zalion. I remembered something. I need to buy a wreath from the Drake cult as well.
Come see what's left of my wares. Iron well spent. I'll give you
And
more
also,
than what I've got left.
Drake's great sword, right? Is it better than Soleil's beheader? Let's find this out. And Rick's Soulbearer's Tome. Is it better than Soleil's Void Tome though? Caravan Master. Oh, also. Cactus Powder. Acid and Vitality damage. Okay. What's next?
See you around.
Сразу же Корван Мастер, вспоминаю отсылочку к игре Караван в Fallout New Vegas.
Got something you need stashed?
До хрена всякого оружия и бижутерии, но при этом теперь уже нету брони. 84 уровню как минимум. Не месяц со зверями. Найс. Ладно, я думаю, надо посетить Sunward Spire.
Give you a good price on what I've got left. Put it to good use.
А погодите, я плюс 100 не вкинул за Devotion Shrine. And now it's count now as a treacherous domain. Let's visit it. Мы стримим всего только час, ощущение, что уже 2 часа стримлю. Может потому, что я очень много прочитал. Я тоже умею такие рывки делать. Celestial. Ability's eye darts back and forth within the gem. I stand before the Eldritch Sun. Here, atop this sacred spire, I bear witness to a tragedy. The land's wound weep with the blood of the divine, his scarred flesh marred by the wickedness of false gods from a bygone era. The devastation is almost too much to behold, so intimately was the land tied to its benefactor. If it is ever to be healed, the Eldritch Sun must be released. Each dawn brings us closer to our goals. Last night I beheld the wondrous ascension of our Father. His screams echoed through Temple halls. He too now bears the burning scars. The burden to our God carries our made lighter by his sacrifice. Others will soon follow, and I prayed to the Sun that I am chosen next. May this flesh carry the will of Korvac. May my hands be made into weapons to carve a path for his return. As I stand here atop the sacred spire and the light of another dawn breaks through the twilight of night, I call to the heavens to grant me this honor. Korvac, hear my prayers. Grant me your flame and I shall rend our foes into ash. Astros the Sun Herald. Wow. Ah, okay. Just disappears because it shows me like it doesn't covers me, my character. Yeah. And now it's time to end everything, once and for all. But before we will end the DLC, there is one quite interesting scene which connects us with one certain line of quests from the previous DLCs. Okay, finally, the fourth entry. Following today's investigation of the tombs and temples of Korvan City, I must say I am more confused and frankly enthralled by the Korvan faith than I could have possibly imagined. Today I had the privilege to bear witness to a ceremony at the Temple of Ran, when the Ascendant himself was present to perform the honorable rite. It is my understanding that Ran holds domain over the sun itself, and it is by his blessing that the sun rises each day to warm the earth and give life to the harvest. The ceremony itself was brief and involved that the slaughter of 5 goats upon the golden altar, then their blood spilled into the carving in the form of a many-pronged sun. Ran was a splendor to behold, his skin as golden as the suit of armor he wore. The armor glowed with burning energy, and yet, as some of the acolytes in the temple described to me from their blessed opportunities to lay their hands upon it, is cool to the touch. Like, not cool, yo dude, touch it, it's way cool, like cool by the temperature, I guess. With the way he presents himself, it is easy to see why his followers believe this man to be a deity. The acolytes tell me that this is actually the 12th incarnation of Ran. His father was the 11th, and so on down the patriarchal chain of his family. Each of them has allegedly lived for centuries, and each had willingly given his life in the service of the Eldritch Sun. I was astonished to discover that the deification of this figure was his birthright. It does, however, lend credence to my suspicions regarding the true nature of these Korvan gods. The acolytes of this temple were more than eager to share Ran's history with me. I swear if I let them, they'd talk all day of his countless accomplishments and divine intervention. But what did catch my attention was the presumed rivalry between Ran and another deity they call a Teph, the Lord of the Moon. As this rivalry heated up, a Teph, I learned, has slighted the Eldritch Sun and was thus banished from the setting foot in Korvan City, or to ever again feel the warmth of day upon his flesh. But the divine Korvac was not without mercy. Once every 30 cycles of the sun, the disgraced Atep was to make pilgrimage to Korvan City and make an offering upon the Grand Temple steps. This is an extraordinary and incredibly creative explanation of the cycling of day and night and the wax and wane of the moon. If this strange practice of ascension weren't enough, the people of the Korvan Valley also appear to deify native animals and sometimes odd combinations of people and animals. The Korvan Griffon is a particularly common target of this practice. The creatures apparently live in rigid hierarchical packs which elevate a singular, usually male, individual to an alpha known by the Korvan people as sovereign. The Griffon sovereigns are then worshipped by locals as minor deities. The intricacies of the Korvan faith are remarkable, but it must not go unmentioned that they all lead back to Korvac, in one fashion or another. I shall focus future investigations of this penultimate deity. Okay. Another one. Entry. Korvan Expedition Final Entry. Were the tales of Korvan legends untrue? Were we led astray by false promises? What of the white-hot energy that once warmed the foundations of Korvan City? There is nothing, no revelation, no great power. The temple runs cold, its heart a hardened mass of blackened glass. The great god who once dwelt here is gone. To where? I do not know. His fate is irrelevant to me. I care only for the power that lingered here and is all gone. I am alone now. A lifetime of work and friendship gone, wasted. Roderick lies dead, struck down by the ancient guardian of this place. The only indication that this place was ever worth a damn. Roderick gave his life so that I could reach the heart of the temple. His sacrifice was rendered pointless as the history that led us proved to be no more than fables. I am certain a great power dwelt here once, but it is long gone, perhaps claimed by another. There is nowhere left for me to go, no reason for me to pursue an existence beyond these walls, and so I shall perish here as well, with the knowledge that my life's work, my very purpose, was to waste. Or perhaps I should return to the guardian that felled my friend and allow it to take me as well, a final tribute to the Eldritch Sun of old. Absolute madness. Hey, Dravis, son of Roborog.
You must be the
Wait a second.
you must be the pawn my sister's been sending around to do her sleuthing for her.
Victory?
Yes. With my father broken at my feet, there is nobody in this world that can stop me from achieving my goals. Not even my sister. Today marks the beginning of a new era for Cairn. The era of Dravis. It's a shame you'll not live to see its glory.
Your sister?
I once hoped that she would join me, but it has become abundantly clear that she does not see things as I have. So she will burn, along with anyone else that stands in my way.
What about your father?
The fool wandered the world for centuries, never thinking about what he left in his wake. My father squandered his power, the world may not know my name yet, but it will soon enough. I am Dravis, son of the immortal necromancer and successor to his mighty mantle. I am the future of Cairn, the vessel of 1,000 tortured souls. You are as a gnat to me. Bow, and perhaps I will show mercy.
A vessel of 1,000 souls?
Indeed, I completed the ritual my father was too afraid of. The valiant souls buried within the necropolis now fuel my own. I am nigh immortal, nigh unstoppable. Once the power within this tomb is mine, the world will learn the meaning of true might. Unfortunately, you will not be around to see it.
My, aren't you full of yourself?
Don't mock me. I stand on the precipice of true immortality and power beyond imagining. All will bow before me and despair. Your corpse.
You're delusional. Hello there, legendary Robohook.
My misguided child lies dead, far from the land of his birth. I've witnessed many of my progeny perish over the centuries. Such is the curse of my existence, but none stung as much as this. I thought myself above his pain, that my pursuit of atonement superseded his naive ignorance. I see now I was wrong. In my hubris, I created a monster, the force of my own undoing.
Joyce was too far gone.
Consumed by his hatred for me. In another life, perhaps he would have stood by my side as we sealed this tomb forever. I'm afraid now that duty falls to another. I've witnessed the passing of centuries, but now I find myself wishing I had more time.
I have so many questions.
I will answer what I can in the short time that we have.
The Order's been looking for you, Master. A foolish errand and a waste of time. My purpose there had been served. The ancient art has been restored. The Order no longer requires my guidance. Sealing the evils of this stump was to be my final act, the end to centuries of anguish. To stand at the cusp of my journey only to fail, our existence certainly has a taste of cruelty.
I will answer what I can.
What happened in Arkovia? Arkovia, perhaps my most troubling legacy. It was a land of opulence, of people obsessed with pursuits of their flesh. Their oligarchs were consumed with consolidating their authority at any cost, even if it meant the downfall of their nation. I lived in Arkovia for a time. I bore witness to atrocities committed against my kind in the name of justice and keeping of the peace. Eventually, they came for me as well. I was brought to the despicable tomb prison they called the Steps of Torment and left to the whims of their chief executioners, Alcamas. When they discovered I could not die, the tortures they imparted upon me pushed the limits of human imagination. Naturally, this drew the attention of the oligarchs who hungered for my immortality. They demanded I show them, but I refused. and so I was put to renewed torture, day and night without rest. In the end, I relented in a way. They thought me broken, defeated, but it was a mere ruse. I was finished with the Akovians and their depravity. They would all suffer a thousandfold for the torment I endured. I gave them their immortality and cursed their progeny for all time. Then, as they were distracted by their twisted gift, I made my escape. They would not discover the nature of my curse for some time, but by then I was long gone. Arkovia bears the weight of my hubris to this day. An entire people wiped out by my hand for the actions of a few.
I will answer what I can.
If there is your son Dandila, I fathered my children. Few of them even knew me as Travis and Dyla did, and even they did not know much. Such attachments breed only agony. I slighted Dyla as I did Travis, but unlike him, she sought to forgive. She was a daughter I did not deserve. You abandoned your children? If you endure enough lifetimes, emotional attachments start to lose all meaning. As I sought to atone for my sins, I believed myself above the concerns of mortals. Perhaps I was simply too afraid of loss, but who can withstand watching the children die as you outlive them time and again?
I will answer what I can.
You lived for centuries? Yeah, I witnessed the rise of empires and the inevitable fall. I played no small part in one of them. I was there when the gods grew silent and the world was left to the machinations of mortals and ascendants. But this is no gift. I paid a dark price for this cursed existence. In Monarchovia?
I will answer.
How you did it? Do you hope to replicate my rituals? I performed unthinkable acts, sacrificed others for my own gains. I still hear their anguished cries within me when I close my eyes. Immortality was mine, so long as I was willing to repeat my mistakes. Lifetimes of guilt had eroded my arrogance, however. My most recent ritual lay unused, that is until Travis stumbled upon it and achieved partial success.
Answer what I can.
What brought you here? I wish to atone for my sins by putting my skills to the only purpose they serve, destruction. A thread is rising beneath these sands, and I sought to extinguish it.
I will answer what I can. When Dravis confronted me at the temple steps, I saw the madness consuming his soul. But I also saw the anguish that I had wrought upon it. Dravis was unwilling to listen to reason. I erected the barriers so that he could not enter the tomb by any means. But I could not bring myself to strike down my own child. Now my powers are nearly spent. The souls flowing through my veins seek their release. I sense that my time has finally come. It appears that you and I had similar goals. The evils within this tomb must not be set free. I will lower my barrier, enter the tomb of the Eldritch Sun, and complete my task. Vanquish the darkness, and bring a momentary peace to Cairn.
Thank you for your sacrifice. Wow. Mother's pendant. This pendant is all that remains of Boruk. It features that silhouette of a young woman carved in bone, but no names initials. Diala?
Hello again, my friend.
I have to say, I think I have something of yours. Then I'm already too late. I hadn't seen this pendant in decades. Decades. Father would never part with this unless... I'm sorry, he's dead. I had a feeling. A discomfort in the back of my mind. He confronted Travis and he gave his life to stop the madness he had seeded within his child all those years ago. But what of Travis? Did he survive? Or do I have a part to play in this still? Travis too lies dead. Oh, I will not deny I'm feeling conflicted. A part of me yearned for another meeting between us, but I am so glad it's over. Travis had become consumed by vengeance and power. It is for the best. What's done is done. I thank you for bringing this pendant to me. It offers some closure regarding my father, even if it isn't the closure I wanted. Where will you go from here? Just as Travis was driven by a rage burning within him, I felt a purpose in this hunt that I hadn't sensed in a long time. But that is over now. I will travel back to Homestead, see my little girl again. I'm not sure I can ever fully return to that life though. I hope Oliver will understand. Good luck out there.
Hello again, my friend.
Okay. The second Celestial Lotus, by the way. Now let's once and for all complete this DLC. Wow, the steward, hello! Teaming with the impossible power of the stars themselves. And this is plus 100 for the steward. And another 100. Yeah, the boss music is playing here. Oh, quite big location here, I should admit. And very epic location, I admit. Korvan Eliki, Part 1. We do not know where he hails from. Nobody we spoke to knows him. What do this sorcerer to our lands confound us, but it is his disregard for our ways, our very faith, that brought him to my attention. I've received numerous complaints of this Soliel visiting religious sites and temples and showing utter disregard to a procedure of or ritual. It is almost as if he is searching for something, but what? I cannot say. His private home in the outer reaches of the Chiron docks, acquired with a satchel of foreign gold, I am told, has been sighted giving off an eerie glow in the middle of the night, much like the Divine's eldritch light. I feel that it is only a matter of time before he conjures his own undoing by delving into matters he is not meant to and drawing the ire of the Eldritch Sun. I know not what folly the sorcerer plans, but he is quickly becoming a danger to the Korvan faith and a menace to its people. We must not let dissidents unravel what is presently a fragile situation. With the Eldritch Sun silent and none allowed to seek his providence, we must take these matters into our hands. I've dispatched the temple's elite guard to handle this concern. Nobody is going to miss a reclusive sorcerer, and besides he is a stranger to these lands after all. What is one more an unidentified body in the river? Wow. This is how you settle your problems. The Korvan Elegy, Part 2. Blindly have I stared beyond the curtain of reality. Agony met me partway, beyond magnificence. For my achievement I was punished, my wound weep, but my eyes are open. That was to be my gift, my pain to staring into the Eldritch Sun. Dutifully I kept others at bay for centuries, filled their minds with horrors and visions of their own demise that they not repeat my mistakes. Yet this one confounds me. He is undisturbed, driven, power-hungry. The priests made threats and he laughed in their face. Such arrogance in such a fragile fleshy thing, and yet he is brimming with potential. My open eyes peer through the possibilities. The one that holds the leash is wounded, broken. Given these circumstances and enough attempts, the mortal may eventually succeed in satisfying his hunger, but would his reign be any more just? His heart is as black as the wreathing darkness, but he is not mad. He could be reasoned with. Many roads to follow, but only one shines clearly before me. But one leads to my ultimate victory. The Eldritch Sun must set, and a new order must rise in its stead. The sorcerer, the priestess, and the guardian equal and not. Yet it will not be enough to merely bring the sorcerer to his goal. The ever-living flame needs to be extinguished from the path. His immortal heart, shattered by betrayal, and the one that wraps her web around his very soul will be the very same that binds our prize. No doubts remain in the infinity. My course is set. Now I must merely ensure that the other pieces fall in line. All other threads will be cut until the one true path remains. Path of Dream. Okay, at least we will reach the level 78 soon. The level 78. Hey, Sigarius. Sigarius' tainted blade of the void. Even more lore. Tragic is the tale of Olzin, the ever-living flame, the right hand of the Eldritch Sun, for none have suffered as ruthless a betrayal as he. A warrior at heart, Olzin was restless with his newfound duties of keeping vigil over the temple of the Eldritch Sun, for what mortal could hope to threaten a god? So he entertained himself with his temple-consuming wine and concubines faster than his attendants could hope to supply. That was until the priestess Bismael attracted his attention. Her generous curves moved with confidence through the halls and her emerald eyes captivated the god, but it was her silky voice that got her invited to his chambers. There she stayed sometimes for days, to the chagrin of the temple priests. Olzin was enthralled by the young priestess, shirking his duties by ignoring the complaints of his attendants. Nobody but Bismael was allowed near him, and none but her would be allowed to fill his lonely nights of vigil. That last ultimately proved to be his undoing, for it was then that Olzin learned the true danger of mortals. It was on the fateful day when the earth ruptured and the sky turned to flame that Olzin realized his folly. Bismael had promised him a glorious surprise and indulgence unlike any he had yet experienced in his many lifetimes, which left Olzin recklessly far from Korvan City and the Temple of the Eldritch Sun. Sensing the upheaval, Olzin rushed back to his post, but he was far too late. The city was consumed by fire and the great temple had been claimed by another. Olzin howled at the sky, calling out to his father Empyrean for aid, but the skies were silent. In blinding agony and rage, Olzin flattened his temple and inflicted a wound upon the world that burns to this day. Just as the wound Bismael left upon his heart remained still. But where the vengeful god is now, perhaps only the witch gods know. Be right back. 2 minutes. Okay, enough of the chill. Let's complete this DLC as fast as possible. That was loud. Let me regale to you the tale of Korvan's fall. For when the gods did battle and the world shook in their wake, it was the people of Korvan that paid the price of ambition. With all Zuin off in distant lands, the temple of the Eldritch Sun was infiltrated, aided by treachery. The many-eyed fiend, the guardian of the hidden realm, clouded the minds of the temple's attendants and allowed two figures, a sorcerer and a priestess, to pass through unhindered. Together they crossed the gate to a reality beyond beyond mortal worlds, the realm of the Eldritch Sun. There they found the primordial being gathering strange upon his throne. The sorcerer spared no time in unleashing his assault upon the wounded god. All the while the priestess cast her bindings upon him, and the infinite gaze filled his mind with visions of terror. The celestial being thrashed against his restraints and lashed out at his attackers, and as he did so, the land above crumbled and spat fire. The air filled with sulfur, and the Korvan people fled for safety. The seas evaporated and rivers were replaced with molten rock, for the Korvan lands were as bound to the fate of Korvac as flesh it is to bone. For every injury the god sustained from the sorcerer's onslaught, a violent eruption shook the basin and engulfed its people. As he strained against the priestess' bindings, so the earth crumbled and changed, and as the guardian's visions consumed his very thoughts, so the Korvan people were ensnared by madness and nightmares. When at last the tremors subsided and the survivors looked up from amongst the ashes, they saw not one figure descending the temple steps in triumph, but three, and the fate of Cain was forever changed.
Skill's not ready.
And finally we can use our Hunger and Void. And another one treasure trove. Magistrate's Censor. When bribing political adversaries proved insufficient, the magistrates of Malmuth employed alternate means of negotiation. Dismay. Overwhelm the mind of your enemy with sheer terror. Oh, other Kaiman, avatar of Korva.
It's too late. Turn back now. Return to whatever loved ones you still cherish, and perhaps you will evade Korvak's wrath.
Other Kaiman, why are you doing this?
Not see. If not for my actions, humanity would already be doomed. Korvak may be a bane upon this world, but he is also our only hope against the darkness that's already consuming Cairn. The Eldritch Sun is our salvation, not the false
gods?
You do not know. The very gods you chose to serve are nothing more than lies. The three are not true gods, merely usurpers who will get their just rewards. Korvak is humanity's only hope against Chthon, and the Legion.
You're delusional.
Did what I had to. Humanity already lost this war. We require the aid of a greater power. A power that seeks the destruction of Chthonians above all else. Some deaths are inevitable. A small price to pay.
This madness ends here.
Disappoint me, Kaiman.
And this is another 100. Imagine. Okay, there is another 100 and there is... I spent too much time, so I guess I will end the stream here on this moment, yes. But don't worry, tomorrow I will continue and I will complete this walkthrough on the normal difficulty. But for now, let's put plus 100, let's visit the conclave of the three and put all of this stuff into our stash and end the stream.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left. Put it to good use.
Safe storage, no questions asked.
Вообще не пробивает никто, я тебе так скажу. Здравствуй, Глен. Спасибо, что зашел, но только ты, правда, не вовремя совсем зашел, я уже скоро собираюсь заканчивать стрим. Вот. То есть резисты пока... Ну, это пока что еще не элитная сложность. И даже не легендарная. Единственное, что меня пробивает, это зоны, в которых лучше не стоять ногами. То есть эфир, кислота, как оказалось, еще там огненные зоны есть. Вот. Как-то так. Ну, у меня просто невероятнейшие числа. То есть максимально неадекватнейшие. Здесь, наверное, скоро помогать не будут. На следующий стрим, ну... Смотри. Я его планирую запустить в 15:00 по МСК. Примерно где-то так. Компоненты я бы поставил, конечно, но потом. Хотя, я не знаю. Я решил пока без них просто обойтись, но как только выйду в эндгейм шмот какой-нибудь, в лютый, то тогда да, я там вколочу самых максимальных. Да, я хлам и ингредиенты скупаю для очков. Потому я деньги так жестко ломанулся. Да, завтра, если ничто не поменяется, в 15:00 по МСК. То есть у меня сейчас уже 11 тысяч час. И так уж припозднился. Ладно, мне надо стрим закончить. Пойти поужинать. Не, это не так работает. Они у меня, конечно, есть, но, блин, я их набираю специально. То есть один ингредиент это одно очко. То есть не просто чтобы вкинуть 1000, а прям постепенно я его своего чела строю. Таким вот образом. Да и через стэшер такое неинтересное. А лучше где-нибудь шмотку какую-нибудь найду, 5 штук его скрафчу и буду трансформировать через каргона. Ладно, короче, окей. I need to end the stream for now. So for today we've done a lot of progress and a lot of reading. My mouth hurts. I hope tomorrow will be a bit shorter stream, but still. And we will finally will be done with Korvan. Yeah, we killed Father Kaiman. This is important. And we knew a lot of new things about witch gods and what the scamper Korvan is. Yeah. So for now, I wanna say only one thing. Thanks for watching and Otskare-sama.